Hey everyone, we just found out about the shooters in San Bernardino, and despite previous speculation by a lot of stupid idiots, it has come to light that the couple were both parents of a newborn. And I think what we all have to conclude from this, it's inevitable, is there is incredible stress when you have a newborn. You know, we live in a country where you barely get any time off when you have a kid that's born. The dads get no time off. Whereas in socialist countries or more left-wing liberal countries like Northern Europe's, you get months off. I think in Iceland they get 2 years off. So what does Iceland get? Peace and tranquility. What do we get? People who are so stressed out, they're going crazy because the baby's screaming all night and it's very, very stressful. You're not getting sleep. You get crazy. And then in a culture where guns are just sitting there, the stressed out parent is going to go, oh, this baby. And we've seen this happen time and time again in an America where our president, Obama, is hamstrung by Republicans. He's trying to fix the problem. He's trying to help jobs, and they just keep thwarting him at every turn. He's trying to make solar jobs. He's trying to make wind jobs. He's trying to make more government jobs, more jobs for equality and diversity. And they go, no, you can't do that. What happens? People snap. Okay, look at Oklahoma. We had workplace violence there so severe that a guy was forced to decapitate his boss. We also had workplace violence in Fort Hood. Are you blind? There is a crisis going on in this country and globally, and that crisis is stress. And the stress comes from capitalism. And we see this in the environment, too. The president, in his infinite wisdom, pointed out that global warming is the real threat here. When you see these shootings and these killings and this oppression and even, stuff going on in the Middle East with exuberant war peoples, you have to understand that, A, it's global warming, because the desert is hot and it makes you as crazy as a newborn, and B, global warming is a much bigger threat. It's not just going to be guns and stress that kills us. It's going to be the water levels. Neil deGrasse Tyson pointed out the water levels are going to come up to the Statue of Liberty's elbow. That's 3,000 feet. That's basically as high as a plane flies. We're going to become water world. Another huge factor here that you have to be blind to ignore is disenfranchisement. The Boston bombers were not treated well by people at high school. They were mocked for their religion. They were mocked for their beliefs. They were made to feel like losers. And when you have people that are pushed out of society, they have no choice but to fight back because it makes them crazy. It stresses them out. In Canada, there was 2 attacks in 1 week from disenfranchised, unpopular people who were made to feel like zeros. These are people who had no safe space. These are people who never got a trigger warning. These are people who just got infinite abuse from society. My brother recently returned from Paris, France, where he was. They basically handed him all of this information and said, "This is what just happened here." And he went, "No, I don't see it." And the information he got was Jews got involved, and that was why there was a shooting there. They didn't need to get into specifics. It's pretty obvious, just Jews. Secondly, big problem with that shooting was Americans. There was apparently a hamburger joint on every corner. And I don't mean just Burger King, McDonald's, but if you go into a beautiful Parisian cafe with hundreds of years of history of intellectuals wearing scarves like this and discussing society and Foucault and Jean-Paul Sartre and even Kierkegaard, they will be served a hamburger. There's hamburgers in cafes there. And they said it very clearly to him. They said, "I ate America." And that is why we have to wake up and realize that we are causing all this. There was a senator after the shooting there. I forget her name. It was a cool sounding name. But she said, because America is such a gun culture, it's more likely to happen here. When someone is hot, when they're stressed out from a baby, okay, when they have a workplace that's stressful because they don't get enough time off, when they don't get any safe spaces, they snap and they grab a gun. Now, of course, I'm playing a little bit dumb here and ignoring the elephant in the room. We all know the common ground happening here. We all know the real threat, of course, is white supremacism. And there's been some great studies out recently and some brave politicians that have pointed out that white supremacists in this country have done more damage. Not just Timothy McVeigh, who was basically Christian, which is kind of racist in a way. Not just the Chattanooga guy who loved Confederate flags more than he loved Gold's Gym. But since 9/11, the majority of attacks have been from white males, which basically, Nazis. I mean, let's not hedge our bets here. It's Nazis. So we can pretend to be blind. We can pretend to hide from the truth. But there is a massive threat going on. The Western world is under siege right now. Someone wants us to convert or die. And that group is loosely summed up as stress from kids, lack of maternal leave, workplace stress, global warming, the heat from global warming, hamburgers, Mickey Mouse, Jews, Nazis, and I think that's pretty much it. Am I forgetting something? Nope.